Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today we are in day 2 of our CKA series where we are learning the Kubernetes from the scratch towards the master, right? And in the last video we have seen that what all contents we are going to cover with our this in this video series, and what is the roadmap we have uh, created for this course, what all stuff we are going to cover, that we have seen already, right? But before we start to each and every topic, right, so let's set up a lab first, right? Because lab is a very crucial part of learning any technology, right? If you are just learning the theoretical part, and if you are not implementing those right on the keyboard, right, if you're not spending your time on keyboard, then probably it will be issue, right? Because this CKA exam is purely lab based, right? There will be no multi choice question, there will be no just you need to answer something. No, they will gonna give you some scenario, and based on that scenario you need to perform that within the lab, right? So yeah, uh, let's start our Kubernetes lab setup. So before we start the Kubernetes lab setup, right, we need to understand like what is the prerequisite of the Kubernetes, right? Like where we can install the Kubernetes, how we can install the Kubernetes, all these things we need to discuss first. And then we'll see that what is the different methods to install the Kubernetes, right? Then we will see uh, how we can install and bring our cluster up, okay? So what I have done is from the previous GitHub repo, I have created three more documents where I have just talked about that what is the prerequisite of the Kubernetes to install. If you are going to install a KubeADM, or maybe if you are going to install a mini cube, right? Then what is the different steps you need to perform, right? So let's discuss the Kubernetes prerequisite first, right? So this is the document already available where I have created and I have already pushed to our GitHub repo, right? So this Kubernetes is compatible with the Linux host, right, as well as the Windows host as well, right? And there are few kind of, I would say, Linux compatible kernel, right? That maybe you can check on these links, right? This is already available in our GitHub repo, right? Here you can see this is already available, and minimum at least 2 GB of RAM you need to require, right? If you are just taking the minimum less than 2 GB, right? And probably because Kubernetes itself requires some compute to run its internal resources, right? The component which we will learn in next video. Then the two CPU, at least for the control plane machine and the worker node, that is recommended. But if you have more, then it would be good, right? Apart from that, the network connectivity, right? Like in test environment you can allow the whole network, right? That is fine. But in the DMG zone, or maybe in the restricted environment, right, where you have that a strict firewall policies needs to be followed, so there you need to know what all ports we need to open, right? So you can see here for the control plane, all are the inbound direction, and these are the ports required. And what are the purpose that I have already mentioned here. Similarly, we have for the worker nodes as well, right? So worker node also you can see that these are the inbound ports connectivity we need, right? Towards if you have that set of range of your worker node or control plane, from that range or that particular IP you can allow, or otherwise you can allow for every network, right? For this. So we'll see that also how we can do. Apart from that, what it is expecting is the unique hostname and the MAC address, right? That is the like kind of requirement from the Kubernetes, right? So that I have already mentioned. The swap configuration also it must be off, because what happen is if you are putting your swap on, right, then might be it is not good for the Kubernetes, because swap should either be disabled or tolerated by the kubelet. If you want to understand what is tolerated, so maybe we will discuss further, but not now. Tolerated is something like where itself in the Kubernetes configuration you are saying that okay, use the swap, right? But generally, I have seen that swap is usually put as off for the Kubernetes environment, right? So that these are the some basics requirement for the Kubernetes to start, right? Once you are satisfied all this with this requirement, you can understand, okay, your compute or your hardware is allowing, your network is good for this, then we are good to set up our lab. All right, so let's see what all other methods are available in the market to install the Kubernetes, right? The first one is the play with the Kubernetes, right? So this is a kind of the online ready-made environment, right? Where you will find uh, a Kubernetes cluster already available, right? Go there and directly run your command kubectl get pods, kubectl get nodes, like that, right? Apart from that, there is one more, the killer coda. Don't worry, guys. We will see on this all these things on in browser as well. But as of now, now let's focus on this. What all these, right? Second thing is that you can set up the Kubernetes on your computer, right? So for that we have a very good documentation available from the kubernetes.io. That is the official website for the Kubernetes open source project. Here you can see that we have a different environment where you can set, if you want to set on Linux, if you want to set on Mac OS or the Windows, right? So these are the majorly three supported platform for the Kubernetes. Apart from that, within this environment also, like you have a three setup. Either you can set the kind is just a kind of a pre-packaged uh, Kubernetes, right? You just need to download this binary and you can directly run it, right? Only the requirement is your system should have Docker or Podman installed. Once you are good with that, you can download the kind and you can start your cluster with the kind, and within that cluster you can deploy. But this is just for you test your application or something, right? It is not recommended for the production one or the non-production environment, right? It's just for the testing, or maybe if you are doing some practice for yourself, right? That you can use it. Second one is the Minikube. Minikube is also kind of the same we have discussed here. So it is a tool that runs locally on your system, right? Like you have one node only, because we have discussed this queue compute power for Kubernetes, right? Let's say if you don't have that much compute, right? Then what you can do, you can set up a Minikube, and Minikube will allow you a single node cluster where the master and the node itself are same node, right? Where you can deploy your application, you can test your application, you can understand. That is also kind of recommendation for the I would say only the practice, right? Or you want to test something. That's it. The third one is the KubeADM, which is mostly I have seen in the production environment. KubeADM tool is just to manage your cluster, right? Using the KubeADM, you will know gonna set your whole cluster, right? Those things. It performs the action necessary to minimum viable secure cluster up and running in a user-friendly way, right? So I have the way like how you can set, because you can see that from the left-hand side we have two textbook where we will see how we can install all this stuff, right? The third thing is if you want to just run the kubectl binary, right? Then you can also download this binary from this, and you will have a kubectl or maybe kubectl, whatever that term you familiar with, you can name it, and then you can just run it, right? Apart from this is just I was talking about the on premises where you can run your the all these things on the virtual machine within your own data center, right? But on the cloud as well, nowadays we have that if you want to use as a platform as a service, right? You don't want to overhead your administrator to manage your Kubernetes cluster, right? Instead, you just want to focus on your application. Instead, you want to focus on your operation part, right? Right. The administrator part you want I mean, you don't want, right? Then what we can do is we can go for the AWS. On AWS, this service is called the Elastic Kubernetes Service. We can go for to the Azure. It is a Azure Kubernetes Service. On the GCP, it is called Google Kubernetes Service, right? Or Google Kubernetes Engine, right? So these are the cloud thing where we go and test your stuff, right? Okay, so that was the methods which we have seen, right? So let's first discuss the mini cube install, right? So here you can see that this is the steps you need to perform. If I'll talk about all these things in that way, let me do one thing. Let me open that this one, okay? I will gonna open this, And here you can see this is the kubernetes.io stuff where we have seen all these install tools and everything, the documentation, because this is also something that we're gonna refer during our this series, this journey to the CK, right? But here you can see we have that Linux, Mac, and Windows kind. If you want to do for kind, just go there, and here they are talking about how you can set up a kind, right? You just need to download this binary available for the Linux, Mac OS, or for the PowerShell. And once that is done, right, then probably you can just start your cluster starting from here, right? And are good to interacting with the kind guest cluster kind, so all these, right, kind cluster information, it will show you that what is the cluster you have created. It is single node cluster, by the way, right? And you can perform all these things. The Minikube, again, it's a single node cluster which I have already talked about. It requires a 2 CPU, 2 GB of RAM, and the 20 GB of free space. Internet connection, obviously, to reach out to the Docker Hub, or to the any other registry where you are hosting your image and everything. Don't worry if you are not familiar with the registry or the Docker Hub. Everything we will gonna talk about from the scratch. Okay, but as of now, just focus on this installation method. So here you can see it is also supported across all three platforms. If you want to do for the Linux, choose the architecture as per your hardware, and the release type is the stable only. If you want to do as a binary download, you can do. If you want to do as a what you say that Debian, then you can do. And if you want to do for the RPM package, let's say if you are running on the RHEL, right, then you want to do this, right? Then set up the cluster just once you download and everything, right? All this stuff. What you can do is just start your cluster and interact your cluster this way, right? And you can test your some application and everything. So that was the Minikube. If I talk about the third method, which is the KubeADM, right? You can use the KubeADM tool to create and manage Kubernetes cluster, right? And if I'll go there, so here you can see that these are the four major version as of today. It is available for this, right? 1.3 to 1. I think we will start with the 1.30, and because I want to show you guys that if you want to upgrade your cluster, how you can perform that as well, right? So the same thing, because that documentation I have created from this website, so there is no fancy thing from my end. I just take all these things and put it in one document just for your convenience, right? So that we can have everything in one place. Then you can check the OS version and all this list of kernel that's I was talk about, the Mac OS, network adapter, the network connectivity, swap, and everything, right? Once you are done with that, right? So here, from here you can start the installation for your KubeADM. So it is a kind of tricky, or maybe it's a complex document. I mean, not a complex, but it is something that not everything in this place, because they have hyperlinked many things in this document. So what I have done is I have captured everything and put it at one place so that we can go one by one and we will set up our stuff. All right. So that was the stuff for from this document. If let me close this, and if I come back to our okay, not this one. One second. Okay, the entire is closed. Fine, no worries. So that is the document we have already talked about. So this is the Minikube installation. So here you can see the same thing. It is just downloading some binaries, and then just this setting this checking the MD5 value just to be integrated, and then giving some execute permission or the ownership to that particular binary. Then we are checking the version and everything, right, and the cluster info. Once that is done, then you need to install the Minikube, right? Minikube and all this. Once that is also done, you can install all these other packages which is required to run. I mean, just copy paste and every copy and paste in your environment, because I have this Minikube server is already running, right, where I have done this thing many times, because I am running other batches as well. So there also I have talked about all this. So this kubectl version, you can see that we are on 1.30, right? For because it was a previous version. And once that is done, right? So what you can do is you can just simply go and start your. If I just run Minikube status there, let's see what we'll get. Probably out of now it is nothing, right? Because it is saying that. Can you see this? because that cluster is not started yet, right? So there is no API communication. But although it is saying that you have that control plane, host is not, everything will be running once we have that, right? So to start with, what we need to do is minikube start. That's it. You need to put. Okay, one more thing. Whenever you are starting your minikube, right, you need to specify your driver, right? Whether you are using a kind or whether you are using a Docker or maybe the other thing also, right? So here, what I will do is I will just say minikube start dash dash driver equal to Docker because we have installed the Docker on this as a runtime, right? So now what it is saying is it is again failing. Why? Let's see. Okay, error writing current update to the file failed to acquire the lock. Okay, there is a lock, so let's remove that and then probably we can try to start it one more time. Okay, yeah, let's remove this and let's try now. Again, it is saying permission denied. That is something weird. Minikube config set driver none. The Docker driver should not be used as a root privilege if you wish to continue to use as a force. Okay. Otherwise, if you are running a Minikube within a VM, consider using. No, we want to run as a Docker only, right? So, but it is saying that there is a permission issue something. So, if we want to do it with root, right, we need to say it forcefully. So, let's try this. This time hopefully it will run, right? So it is starting that my minikube cluster and then we'll see that how you can do all this. So I have that already put it here. Okay, the command was also there. I didn't notice. Anyways, so this is the minikube setup you can see, right? Meanwhile, it is running, right? We need to discuss this kubeadm setup as well, right? So kubeadm, you can see that I have put it the command as per the your node role. If you are running on the master node, then you need to just swap off A. That means that it will gonna off your swap from this. Then you need to put some additional kind of module which is required for this, like for the bridge and the overlay network, and this is just to load the module to network. You can get this description from this here. Then we have some what do you say that kernel parameters value, right? Just to forwarding the internal traffic from one interface to the another. Here also we are setting same. You can verify, it's completely optional. Then you just update the index. Once you have the updated index, then you're gonna install this. Then again that you are giving some kind of permission to this key. Again the key we are downloading for this docker.asc, and this is the version we are putting it for to download the our kubeadm, right? Then we are just again updating our index, installing the container d. We are setting the container d as a default container runtime, and at the final stage we are going to install this. So here you can define, right? If you are just referring to the other kubectl version, right, or the Kubernetes version, let's say on 1.31 or 1.32, so you need to just specify this, right? And once that is done, right, you just need to initialize your cluster, right? So here I'm just initializing my cluster. Here I'm just setting the pod network inside the my Kubernetes master node for the kube system namespace. Again, the namespace is a new keyword, but we have that already in our plate. We will discuss. Once that is done, we need to set our software defined network. So here we are using the uh, Weave network, I believe. And then if you are not familiar, you can use the Calico, you can use the Flannel, and there are many more in the market, right? But these are some popular CNI plugin which you can set up or your. What is this? We will see once we discuss in the network part. Okay. Then we can see that what all internal ports are running for the kube system. Again, the port is a new keyword that is also will be in the list we will discuss. Then this is the command just to join your worker node, right? But before you are running this command, make sure you install the required package on the worker node. Fine. Once that is done, then you can just simply try to install or maybe try to deploy some application on this, and same command on the worker node as well, right? So this is how that we can run it, right? So let me copy this, and I hope our cluster is started. Okay, it is still not started, so it is still gonna take time. But meanwhile, what we will do is we quickly set up two Ubuntu virtual machine on the Azure, right? Because I want to show you all these in actions, right? So let me quickly create virtual machine. I hope you guys are aware about the Azure. If not, then let me know in the comment section. I will create one series on the Azure as well. I don't want any availability. I want the standard one. Image I'm gonna using the Ubuntu 2024 fine, right? And okay, it is saying selected image is Gen V2. Okay, let's take this and we will gonna say 2 CPU and 8 GB of RAM. I will gonna authenticate myself as a CLOUD cloud user. Let me set up the password for this user. Fine. And I'm gonna allowing this inbound as a rule. But remember guys that we have discussed that we need to define some network, right? So this thing also we will see once we discuss, but as of now, just to save our time, what I will do is I will allow the every network, right? Let me quickly go to the disk. No changes. Let me go to the networking. Here also no changes. It will gonna create a new VPC for us, right? Master VNet, okay. And here I will say quickly next, next, review and create. If you are familiar with this creating virtual machine on Azure, you can just skip this 1 or 2 minute in between. But yeah, just to show you that I have created this. Okay, so let's quickly create it, this master node. What is the thing we have? Okay, it is still initializing. Yeah, because it's a single, I'm not remember what is the compute because this is running in locally in my system. Okay, and maybe it is required some high compute to run quickly, right? Because it is single node cluster minikube setup. But yeah, let it go. We will wait for our Kubernetes cluster and we'll start this minikube we have already seen, but we need to do is kubedium. Okay, so let me go back to the Azure. So I have one machine up and running, right? Create another VM. Yes, I need one node. That was the master, right? It is the node. I will put it in this one. Availability zone I don't want. Again, I don't want. This is fine. This is also fine, right? And I want to connect with the user instead of key. So I am quickly inserting my password and I just want to see that it will be in the same VNet. No, no node VNet. I want it to be in the master VNet. Okay, let's go quickly. Networking. I think it is taking time. Let me do one thing, guys. Let me pause the video here, and once I am set up with these two machines, right, then we will quickly see how you can install. Okay. Okay, all right. So I'm back, and I have set up both machines, master and node, and you can see that the public and public IP address for both machines. And I have already logged in. So on my left side, this is the master node, and on the right side, this is the worker node. All right. So let's start with our installation. This is for the Minikube. Yeah, let's see, check the what is the status of Minikube. Okay, Minikube is started, right? Let's see Minikube status. Okay, so here you can see that earlier it was not configured, right? Now the host is running, but still I think we have the issue kubelet and API server is stopped. These both services should be running, otherwise it will give you a error. Let's see. Oh yes. So what I will do is I will gonna stop this and restart it again. Okay, let it start and then we'll see what is happening. So you can see it is deleting the existing container, right? Because this all environment will go in the Docker container run, right? And it is started. Now let's see quickly. So it is still not updated. It should be configured or up and running. Okay, let's give it some time and then we'll see. I am back to my master node, right? So first of all, thing that we need to swap off on both machines, right? So what I will do is I will gonna run this and here as well. All right. Now what next? If you want to make it permanent, then you can make change to the etcfs file, right? I need to create this file and I need to make entry of these two module. Fine. So what I will do is I will quickly go inside of this file and this is the master node as well. And the entry you need to make it the overlay and the bridge net filter. Fine. So let's save it. Can't open the file. Okay, maybe the module dot load dot ck modules load dot drop in directory is not existing. Let's quickly see etc module dot. Yeah, this is there and okay, we need to create this file. That's weird. Anyways, let me quickly create this. And okay, permission denied. Oh, that was the reason because we have to be root here, right? That was I was confusing like why it's asking to create it. Okay, anyways, I will copy again and I will paste it here and this time it will allow us to save the same thing here. Here we I think we are already root. Yes. So that part is done on both machine. So the next is you need to load this, right? So mode probe overlay and mode probe net filter, fine. And the next command is this one. Let's do it. Yes, done. Now we need to create one more file too for the kernel parameters, right? So I'm quickly create one file here and on the node as well. Okay, so let's copy this and let's quickly put it, save it. Let's put it and save it. Now just upload this parameter. Okay, it's loaded here as well. And then the next is it's optional only. Let's quickly do update and then we need to install this two packages. Fine. I'm gonna run apt get update so that the refresh index will get refresh. Okay, run it. It's already installed. Fine. Hope here as well. Yeah, we are good. Great. Now let's install this utility. See, I am doing it one by one, right? What you can do is what I recommend is just capture all these stuff and put it in one script file, or I will create that script file for you and I will upload at the same place. Just copy that script file and run it, right? That will save your time. So let's download this key file. That's done. Now we need to change the permission for this. That's done. Here also it's done. Now we have next is we need to update our index, okay? Okay, I need to remove this and I need to copy from here till here. Let's run it. That's done. Let's run it. That's done. Just to verify, probably we can just cat this file so that our entry was made it correctly. Yes, it was correct. That's what that we have put it. Again, update that index so that it will know, okay, I have something new index repository, and let's install the container.io. Here also, first update, it is doing, and now run that container.io installation. Fine. Now we need to restart our container D. I'm going to start that once this installation is done. Okay. Few more steps, guys, then we are good to go for our lab. Okay. So it's almost done. Yeah, let's restart this. Okay, systemctl, it's restarted. Here as well, I am hoping it will come soon. What is the next step? Next step again to install few more packages. So let's install on this one first, on the master node. Okay, and here as well, I'm gonna run the same command. Although it is already installed few, but still we need to make sure. Then again, we need to download some keys. So let's do one thing, do it and do it. Okay. Let me see what steps we need to follow till here. Uh, okay, I think we forgot to update this, but 8, 9. Okay, and here we need to perform after 9, 10 is as well. Okay. So we forgot this one. So let's quickly run this on both node. And now we need to change the file to this new configuration custom file. Uh, okay. All right, that is also done. Now copy this to container D directory and restart your container D again. It's done. I'm starting restarted. Here also it is done and restarted. Fine. And this part I think we have already done the curl. I just need to perform again that the version, right? I need to update this index repo. So here also it is done. Done. Now let's update the index, refresh the index again and install this utilities. Okay. Now update and run it. Here also update, and once that is done, Now install this utility here as well. Now we need to put it on hold and we need to enable this, right? But on worker node, once that is installed, there also we just need to put it on hold and enable the kubelet. That's it. The rest part we just need to perform on the master node, okay? So let me finish this first so that will not make any confusion. And this one. So guys, our worker node is ready, right? We don't need to perform anything here. Let's come back to our master node. Now I will run here only. We need to see that minikube as well, fine. And we just need to enable the kubelet so that after restart, this machine will come automatically up. That is done. Now let's initialize the Kubernetes on the master node. Okay, it is initializing. Then we just need to check this image. Okay, it is just checking all the stuff. It is pulling the required image for your Kubernetes cluster. Meanwhile, what is the status of our, okay, it's still non-consistent. I think we need to delete it and then we need to store it. So let me stop it again. Okay, minikube, delete, and then we'll start it again. Okay, let it run. Meanwhile, you can see that after initializing the Kubernetes, all these done. So what it is saying is your Kubernetes control plane has initialized successfully, right? To start using your cluster, you need to run the following as a regular user, right? But we will do it with the root only, right? Alternatively, if you are a user, you can run this, right? I am a root user, so probably I just want to run it. Fine. You should now deploy a pod network to the cluster, right? Whatever that network we are discussing, right? So I will show you that part. But one more thing that you can see that for the worker node, you can see it is giving you as a join command here, right? So same thing it is saying here is if you are running as a normal user, right, then probably you can do it because in the environment normally we don't run with root, but you can do it. All right, so that is the pod network we need to initialize. I'm going to initialize this pod network. Port 6443 is in use. Okay, I think that is already in use basically. Uh, kubectl get nodes. So hyphen o wide. So yeah, that you can see that it is already initialized that particular thing. I mean network, right? But only we need to do is that we need to just apply this, right? So what I'm do is I will gonna apply this weave network. It will automatically fetch that particular thing and you can see that it has created, right? If you want to see where it has created, it has created, so we have this dedicated namespace here. You can see that core DNS etcd weavenet. You can see that it is just still it is initializing, right? So probably it will be up and running in it is initializing now the pod initializing, so it will be up and running in meantime, right? The core DNS is also still it is not getting created. It will get created in a few minutes. Right, so you can see our network is up and running and this is still creating, so one is already running, you can see, right, and the other one is also running. So now we are good to go, right? We just need to join our, if you see kubectl get nodes, so we have that master node is ready, right? So that way we can see. But now what we need to do is we need to run that join command on the worker node as well, right? So let me print that command again, or if you want to save it from that initializing output, that also you can see that it is giving you the same thing. Here it is, right? If you forgot to take it, then with this command you can print it again. Let me take this. But for me, it will, let's see. Okay, this node has joined the cluster certificate signing because by default the node that everything is allowed, right? Kubectl get nodes that I have already set in. But if you have a restricted network, remember we have discussed the required port. That port you need to set up, right? So here you can see I have already added my worker node, and that is also ready now. Let's quickly do one thing. Let's quickly create one image. We'll see what is happening. Created, right? If you see kubectl get ports, so you can see that I have this container up and running. And where it is running, it will gonna run on our worker node. You can see it is running on node, worker node, right? Let me just expand it. So it is still initializing. It is up and running now, right? So this way that we can see that what all resources it has created, we can see if you just run kube. Don't worry all about these command, right? These command will gonna run. So what it has done, it has created one pod, it has created one service, and it has created one deployment set and one replica set, right? So this thing we will see. If you want to expose this, then you can just expose it to the node port. Node port is a service type, and we can do it, right? And what is the service? That service, if you see, this is the service, it is initializing there, right? So now if I'll go to my network, right, on this one, 311163, I think this port is not allowed, but what I will do is I will gonna 31163 curl. Let me see the port IP again. One second. So port IP is this one, right? So curl. So here you can see our Nginx is running, right? So these all things, guys, we will discuss in details when we started our discussion. So this part we just have seen how you can set up your Kubernetes cluster and everything, right? So that's how. This is the dedicated network. The moment if you want to add more node, what you need to do, you just need to perform all these steps, and once that is done, right, come to your master, get that print command for your joining your worker node, right, and run that command on your worker node, and your node will be up and running. Here you can see as of now only these two machines, right? So that's how that we can perform all this stuff. Let me see if we can quickly, I can show you this. I'm not sure what is happening. Okay, it is not still coming. Maybe some issue with this network or something. Okay, use force if you are running the minikube within a VM, considering using driver none. Okay, let me give a final try and then we can stop it for the day. But yeah, maybe I will just create one more minikube install. What I will do is I will just say none. Okay, now if you see minikube status, it is still not started. Okay, no, I think I am confused with this, but yeah, I will check this on this part, right? How you can set up our minikube and everything. But yeah, this is the steps we need to perform, right? Maybe I will just quickly create one machine and then I will show all these things and will add to this video, or maybe a additional bonus video for this minikube install. But we'll not follow the minikube architecture. We will follow the kube like multi-node cluster we will do in our this series, right? So yeah, that's it for the day, guys. I will meet you in next video where we will discuss the Kubernetes architecture, how what are the all components of the Kubernetes architecture, and how it can gonna perform all these stuff, right? Because that is something that we have already seen. Here it is, you can see, but this note is still not updated, right? But if you go to the roadmap, right, so here you can see that we have these all these things. Control plane, we have the API server, etcd, controller, manager, scheduler. In the worker node, we have the kubelet, kubereg. What is the role of all these key components, right? If any of the components fall, how you can fix it? What is the use of? What is the life cycle of the pod when you give a kubectl create or run command, right? What is happening behind the scene? That's all things will come in this series, right? So don't miss it. Okay, so yeah, I'll take a leave for today and we'll meet you in next video, guys. Till then, bye bye. Thank you.